time for me to talk about Diontae Johnson. We're 23 minutes into this show and I've not mentioned his name yet. Feels slightly ridiculous. I think he's going to be a top 3 round pick in redraft and best ball next season. This is a guy that was wide receiver 8 overall in 2021. He then had a down year with a rookie quarterback. And it's like, yeah, all you hear constantly is that rookie quarterbacks are bad for wide receivers. It's the reason why Michael Pittman is falling currently in best ball and redraft. Well, we expected that from Diontae Johnson, yet his value hasn't rebounded. He had 0 touchdowns. If he'd have had his career average of about 6.8 touchdowns last year, he'd have finished as a top 24 wide receiver. He'd have finished as wide receiver, I think, 17, 18 overall. Then he would have been drafted in that wide receiver 3, round 3, round 4 range this year. Where he is going at the moment is absolutely criminal. This is a guy that year in, year out is going to command top 10 targets at the wide receiver position. You can almost pencil him in for 120 plus targets right now. Plus, this whole offense is going to take a step forward. Kenny Pickett, year 2 leap. He's looked phenomenal in preseason. I think that they've got the offensive line now. They obviously traded up and got the right tackle in the first round. I think that this whole offense is coming together and taking a step forward. And I think that Diontae Johnson is an absolute steal this year. He's going to produce points and therefore he's going to be drafted much higher this time next year.
Yeah, I agree with you here. I think you look at where Diontae Johnson's going. So you're talking about a 5th round pick this year, and he needs to jump up to the 3rd round. So you're talking about 10, 11 wide receiver spots in redraft or best ball. I think George Pickens is the shiny toy, which a lot of people want. You know, the George Pickens fan club is hardcore. They are big truthers to the Pickens ability, but Diontae Johnson, what we've seen from him over the years is that he's a target earner. You know, he earns targets, like earning 147 targets last year. That's no accident. He ranked 67th in catchable targets last year among wide receivers of 20 or more. So it was on not just Kenny Pickett, it was also on Mitch Trubisky, it was on the Steelers as a whole. They weren't a good offense last year. They scraped the way to a winning record, which was their Super Bowl victory. And I just think that this whole offense is going to take a much more competent step forward. I think when the Steelers kind of let Kenny Pickett down in some ways by not starting him from the get-go, and with a whole offseason tailored to Kenny Pickett, Diontae Johnson is absolutely going to have a bounce-back season. He's a screaming buy in Dynasty and an auto pick for me in redraft and best ball.
Yeah, I think that for me, it's kind of what do you want in a wide receiver? Do you want the Calvin Johnson theory, the big-bodied outside guy that's fast, that makes those glamour catches but doesn't score fantasy points? Or do you want the guy that commands targets? You know, after all, targets don't lie. And Diontae Johnson, to me, is going to be the guy that is going to consistently score more fantasy points than George Pickens. Yet George Pickens is always going to be the guy that gets the hype because he gets those glamour catches and those highlight plays. And yeah, for me, it's never a conversation. Give me Diontae Johnson over George Pickens every single day of the week.